Very good evening, I'm Juhi Rajput and you're watching Win-Win Power News. Well, in today's episode, we'll talk on Government Capacity Addition Plan and Target, Equipment Supply, EPC, BOP, coal supply, gas pricing and other issues and concerns related to Accelerated Capacity Addition Plan. Well, to talk on this subject, we have with us Mr. Banmali Agarwal, ED Tata Power. Mr. Agarwal, welcome to the show. First of all, I'd like to ask you, as Ministry of Power has 78,700 megawatt capacity addition target for 11th five-year plan. Looking at the current pace of progress, what would be the realistic target to be achieved according to you?
Well, that's a good question. And I think if you go back into history, you've seen that traditionally the hit rate has been kind of 50%. And I hope that this time around they haven't increased the target so that 50% of a higher target is a higher number. But I think the government also has improved in its planning process. One certainly expects a better hit rate this time, even though the targets are stretch targets. So I think, and what one hears, and generation being now freed up and opened up, one certainly sees a lot of action and a lot of real work happening on the ground. So I'm not as pessimistic that, nothing will happen. I'm a little more optimistic this time around that more of this will actually come up off the ground.
Okay, power plant equipment supply, EPC and BOP are some of the major issues related to delay in power project commissioning. According to you, what initiative the government should adopt to address these issues so that the projects come within the timeline in 11th and 12th five-year plan?
We need capacity. On one hand, we are short of capacity. And I think the government has done some good work in terms of identifying what are the bottlenecks. And we are aware that both Ministry of Power and CEA have, for example, identified balance of plant is an area where you need more players. And they're doing things to encourage. How do you get more companies to get into manufacturing of balance of plant? So all that is being done. I would also argue that I think BHEL, which is the largest supplier of equipment today, has a sizable order book. I think it needs to step up to the challenge. It should be able to improve on its delivery commitments. Today, BHEL invariably is slipping on its delivery commitments. And when I talk about slippage on delivery commitment, it's not just about initial supply. It has to be right the first time that you supply it. Today, I think there is time spent in stabilization, in troubleshooting, in kind of sorting out the initial teething trouble that equipment that one gets. I think if BHEL can make sure that all of that is addressed, I think it will, it will cut down the time that is required. Plus, of course, I think there are more players coming in. It's just a question of time that, they set up capacities and this problem is overcome.
Mr. Agarwal, there's a big debate going on whether Chinese equipment is suitable in Indian context or not. And Government of India is framing legwork for restricting the surging of Chinese power equipment. In a situation where Chinese suppliers have contract for 23% of the total capacity addition plan and BHEL order books are fully filled up for next 5 years, what should be the realistic approach so that the capacity addition plan does not suffer?
Well, let me not get involved in the politics of all of it. Those are other matters which perhaps others understand better. But purely from a power sector perspective, if as a developer, I think one has selected equipment from anywhere, I presume that they've done their due diligence, they've done their homework, they have analyzed the risks and then made their decisions. I presume the lenders would have done their homework before they agree to lend money to project, no matter where the equipment comes from. So I would rather let the market and the developers take their call and take their risks while making a decision in terms of where should the equipment come from. And as I said earlier, I think let the politics of it and the whatever happens in terms of international affairs, I think that's another matter and that's another chapter altogether. And when I say that these matters have been, they've done their due diligence, it's not just a question of one-time purchase, but it's a question of life cycle performance, the ability to support right along the life of the plant, And I'd still leave it to the judgment of the developers to, analyze all those conditions and decide for themselves.
As we are too far from the target of building 78,700 megawatt capacity in the 11th five-year plan, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh has now approved significant changes to the centre's mega power projects policy introduced in the year 1995. Do you feel this initiative will encourage setting up of mega power plants indigenously to take advantage of economies of scale, and it will also make easier for generation projects to qualify for financial and tax incentives besides giving a fillip?
Certainly. I think, they've kind of lowered the size of the project to 1,000 megawatt thermal to qualify for mega. They've kind of, I think, streamlined in terms of you don't need to resort to international competitive bidding if your power that you produce is sold on a competitive bidding way. So all those steps are welcome, and I'm sure that they will add to the attractiveness or lower the cost of generation of the power that is being produced. And these are certainly very welcome steps that have been taken. I also noticed one of the conditions that for a state to attract power or buy power from a mega project, it has to commit itself to distribution reforms and certain other, let's say, to appoint a regulatory commission and so on. I think those are also good ways of incentivizing the states to really get moving on the distribution side. But I would again say, and I want to repeat this point, that the critical bottlenecks are still coal, getting land, and the whole thing about the acquisition of land and the viability of the distribution companies. We cannot carry on perpetually selling power to non-viable distribution companies. That is just not sustainable.
We'll carry on this discussion with Mr. Banmali Agarwal. You keep watching Win Win Power News.